make sure you guys check out www.procivic.com for all your 9th gen and Civic needs, and also make sure you guys check out www.blinkingbrakelights.com for blinking brake light tail bulbs, which can help you better be seen and safe out in traffic. Use the code GOT10 at checkout for 10% off.
Of a cliff, realize there must be more to life than this. Reaching for the stars, traveling so far, like a dragonfly. Just grab my hand from heaven's end. With me tonight, I run away.
Guys, we're here with Amar. We're in his right-hand drive RX-7, and I'm giving him the opportunity to explain a little bit about his build. If you guys don't know who Amar is, he's actually the person who humbly invited me over to this drift event, and he also gave me the huge opportunity to drive not only his S13 RV20 swap, but he also gave me a huge opportunity of driving his R32 GTST back home to Virginia, which is pretty freaking sick considering you never get an opportunity like that, like, ever. Woo. Bro, there's so many butthurt ass people. So butthurt when you did that. You were so butthurt.
I'm sorry, bro. I like to drive my car.
Well, as you can see, guys, I'm not driving the vehicle, even though I'm on the...
You could be if you want.
Holy crap! This car is right-hand drive. It's really sick. I've been talking to Amar about reviewing this car for quite a while now. Amar, I want to give you the opportunity to explain to me of how much of a hellish / goodish adventure this car was for you, because I saw this on social media, guys. He got this car and broke down on the way here. So
I mean, I can sit here and talk to you about the car like for hours. It's as far as you want to go. I mean, I bought the car almost a year now, and as soon as I bought the car, it was like the first time I had ever like been up close to a rotary, ever driven one or test driven one, and I don't know, I just didn't have like that much knowledge on the subject. I went to go check out the car twice. want to cut any corners because I was extremely scared of, you know, blowing it up again. So I did everything right the first time, and the car, I mean, it's been doing great. I love this thing. At first, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I was coming from a pretty stock R32. It's a completely different animal, so you can't really compare the two.
Right. You have a lot of pros and cons with the rotary. Obviously, rotaries are a little bit easier to rebuild considering there's not a lot of moving parts.
Oh yeah, it was like the longest part of rebuilding the car was just like, you know, waiting for the machine shop to give us back the rotors, and I was just waiting on other people. But in terms of us, I actually have a time lapse of the whole rebuild, 32 minutes.
Holy cow. Wow.
So I mean, you can basically rebuild it in your kitchen, with a little jar of petroleum jelly. So shout out to Mazda.
So tell us a little bit more about power. Have you dynoed this car yet? Have you gotten any power figures on this car?
Yeah, so in terms of power, the car is running a mild street port and stock injectors, stock fuel rails. As soon as we did the rebuild, and got it tuned, street tuned it for 2 weeks and just daily drove it and broken the motor, and then went back for power. The car at 7 pounds made 250 wheel horsepower and 300 wheel torque. So
that's a lot of torque for a rotary.
it is.
Wow.
Hence the hybrid turbo. That definitely helps out, because I mean, it's definitely not low end torque.
Oh, okay.
It's not low end torque. It's torque, just not low end.
So I'm pretty sure a lot of you are asking this question in your head right now. What's the highest RPM you've ever hit in this car?
I don't know. The reason being so is because the tach only goes to 8,000 RPMs, but I have definitely taken it past that. The motor's actually built to go up to 9,800. Yeah.
Wow.
But I believe just by hearing the motor, I've never even taken it to rev limiter. I think I've taken it to 86, 87-ish.
The motor's screaming at that point.
Oh yeah, no, it's well, hence we have a little straightaways right here. I love this thing. At first, like I said, coming from a pretty much stock R32, this was extremely different, and as soon as I got it, up and running again, and even after the dyno tune, I wasn't a fan. And just the more I drive the car, the more I wrench on it, the more I make long trips in it, or go to Cars and Coffee, or go to drift events, or whatever. I just continue to fall in love with this thing, and I absolutely love it.
If you guys are interested in purchasing Amar's right-hand drive FC3S RX-7, hit him up on Instagram. I'll link that right up there. You already know what it is. I mean, you can, like you said, actually, you can go on for days talking about this car to somebody who's really interested in buying it. But right now, we just want to start having fun with this thing and seeing what it can really do. Oh my God, this thing is nuts. This thing is absolutely nuts.
for like 20 seconds.
A brick. Like to hear this motor just like even like at $3,000 just cruising down the road, you just don't get tired of it. And I can understand why a lot of these rotary guys are so loyal to their engines because they just sound stupendous.
Yeah, they sound amazing.
And yours is ported too, right?
Yeah, it's a mild street port. But so Wesley, you know, obviously it's like since he was like rebuilding the motor, you know, he's basically catering to what I want to do with the car. So I just told him what I was gonna, you know, my plans are for the car, and you know, he did exactly that. I told him I really wanted it to sound as close to a Bridgeport, but didn't want to do a Bridgeport. So that's exactly what he did, and it sounds amazing.
I also want to apologize ahead of time, guys. We kind of are doing this review a little bit last minute. I'm gonna try and edit as best I can with color correction to get a little bit more bright, but yep. Oh my god. Whoa, man. But yeah guys, so basically we're doing this review a little bit different. As I had mentioned, I wanted to get the owner to drive the car, and Amar especially, because like he knows his car best, and I know he can push this car to its limits, and usually when you guys see me review cars, I don't do that. So I mean, these pulls, like, they're legit. Like, this is insane. Like, this is nothing I've ever experienced before.
Dude, it really puts you back in your seat.
No bull. And like the only, I think like the only time I remember even pushing a car to its limit was Joe's 9,000 RPM Civic. But that's because I was already in a familiar place, you know, but
Yeah,
with other people's cars. Exactly. So I wasn't afraid to do that, but with this one, it's a little bit intimidating. But Amar, you know, he said, hey, how about we just, you know, have me drive, do some pulls. So discuss with me what you got in terms of parts for this car, specifically.
I mean, the parts list on the car is extremely extensive.
I'll put all the parts that he has, like an extensive parts list down in the description. Well, yeah, but like, please, by all means, I kind of like go over like the most obvious thing, which obviously is the giant freaking wing on the back. So I mean, like,
alright. So as you all know, it's a right-hand drive JDM S5 1989 FC3S. The car has a BN Sports kit, not wide body, but it does have a kit on it. I'm actually happy it doesn't have a wide body kit because I'm not really a fan of cutting up overs, unless you really need to. But
I'm sure everybody's a big fan of that, considering this is a classic car.
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
You
And
see
like
a lot of
stock-
that cookie cutter stuff on like Instagram. So
and the stock body is just timeless. Like you can
Absolutely.
never go wrong with that.
try and hold the camera as best I can on the car, because my phone wants to be a little bit complicated. But
Shout out to iPhone.
so shout out iPhone for that limited storage quantity. But yeah, so you were saying about your wing, you got the BN Sports kit.
Yeah, so it has a BN Sports kit. The wing is a RE Mamiya GT2 wing. I think GT2 or maybe just GT wing. It is carbon fiber and it does have chassis mounts on it. And I love it. You can actually grab the chassis mount and you can shake the car before the wing even budges. It has front and rear Cusco sway bars, full Apexi. I think they were called Apexi F1 or R1 coilovers. said, the parts list.
It's like it's really extensive
it's
down in the
really
description
long.
type stuff.
But I mean, this car, I mean, you can set it up to whatever you want. Realistically, in Japan, it was a time attack car, but the suspension and the diff and everything definitely transfer over in terms of like drifting, autocross, HPD, and so on and so forth.
So when will I see you at autocross, sir?
I was actually thinking about that yesterday. I'm definitely gonna bring this thing sometime to one of the autocross events.
Speaking of which, September 17th, Winchester, Virginia, Jameswood High School. I'll be there.
The MBCA.
Yeah,
Yeah,
MBCA.
okay, cool. Definitely, I'll definitely be there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if he's there, I mean, I don't know. This
Is
thing.
the 17th? Is it?
You know,
is it Sunday?
it's a Sunday.
If it's a Sunday
morning.
I'll most likely definitely be there because I have Sundays off.
Perfect. So I mean, like I said, guys, you guys can meet me and meet Amar over at Jameswood High School. We're gonna be doing some sick autocross events and like a new Challenger awaits me.
Oh yeah.
13B RX-7 right-hand drive. Wow.